Hello and welcome to Sincerely Elvis Presley. I'm Sean. If you're new to the channel or if you're a regular viewer, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. This is going to be our final look at 1973, and I just want to talk a little bit about some of the ways to watch and listen to the Aloha from Hawaii special. And I'm going to start with the watch. I don't think this will be new to a tremendous amount of you. This is the deluxe edition DVD, which came out, I want to say, around about 2004, I believe. As some of you will know, at a couple of points in my life, but certainly around about 2010, I sold off pretty much my entire Elvis collection. But there are a couple of things that I kept hold of, and this and the 68 special deluxe that came out at the time were one of the things I did keep. This is a fantastic DVD release. You know, it's been my go-to for many a year. I'm a bit funny when I watch on a modern big widescreen TV. I kind of don't like to see things in 4:3 ratio in the middle. I tend to watch them stretched out a little bit, but as long as it doesn't sort of stretch the ratio and make everyone look a bit squished. I'm oversharing there, aren't I? But what I mean by this is because it's a DVD, I can do that on the TV I've got. With some Blu-rays, you can't alter. What you see is what you get. So this has been my go-to and still is my go-to in a lot of ways. Picture quality, I think, on this is fine. You know, it has to be borne in mind that this was a TV broadcast, so it's only ever going to look okay. It's never going to look pristine, super crisp, high definition. There's only so much they can do with the source material they're given. So with this release, we got a nice little booklet, and we did get the arrival in Hawaii. Elvis arrives and greets fans. We got the rehearsal concert, and then we got the actual broadcast concert, and then we got the insert song session, and we also got the broadcast version of the concert. So, you know, it's a fantastic little release. This can be picked up really easily, and I've heard tell there was a special edition with a red special edition DVD with a red cover that came out a little while after this, a single disc. Now I've heard tell that the picture quality on that is better than this, but I kind of find that hard to believe. It's a DVD release. I can't see what they would have done to the second version of the DVD a few years later that they hadn't done to this, because I mean they did what they could to clean this up, but this is just brilliant package, brilliant way to immerse and indulge yourself in Aloha from Hawaii, plus a bit of a sparkly cover. Can't go wrong. So that's how to watch it, in my opinion, the deluxe edition 2 DVD set. Now to listen to it, let's go back to the original release. So this hit the shelves on February the 1st, 1973. So only top 3 weeks after the performance itself. So not quite as rapidly released as the Madison Square Garden was after the performance, but not far off. Now, as you can see, we don't get a photograph from the Aloha from Hawaii special on the cover. We get a photograph from 72. Now, it's very easy to sit back and keep knocking RCA and saying, what were you doing with the covers? But as we've learnt over time, it was Colonel Parker that sent them the material they were allowed to use, and then he insisted that those photographs were sent back straight away after they'd used them. So you can't really blame RCA. They worked with what they had. But yeah, again, same with Madison Square Garden. Surely we could have had a picture of them. Mind you, not that they didn't milk pictures from Aloha on Hawaii for many albums later. But yeah, there's your sleeve. Inside your world map and all your languages all saying "We love Elvis." Now in the UK we didn't get a cutout. That's part of the sleeve. I don't know why most of the territories got a cutout where the inner sleeve pulled out and the picture came out, but we didn't for some reason. And this being an original press, what it has got is the original inner sheet that went in, telling you your song titles, and of course not missing out the opportunity to plug some more Elvis material. But with a photograph from That's the Way It Is. So at least they were consistent. Now I've got a couple of vinyl other editions of Aloha. So I have my Japanese release, which according to David from Elvis Presley in Japan, I think this is a reasonably rare press of it. And that gives you your inner sleeve, inner booklet with your lyrics. First of all in Japanese, and I think we do get them somewhere, and you get some really nice little pictures as well. Really nicely done. And there we get the English song titles as well, English song lyrics. So that's a really nice little release. And then I've got this strange little anomaly. Now this came out in an album set. I think there were 6 albums in each, all on red vinyl. I'm not quite sure what country they were from. I know, again, sorry, this sounds like I'm a stuck record, but David in Japan, I think you showed some of the releases from this. They are actual facsimile replicas of the original albums, so you get the sleeves exactly as they were, but what you get, so this, as you see, has got the cutout, so this inner sleeve comes out, and Elvis comes out with it, and we get a plug for the Madison Square Garden album, and then a sort of really odd mock-up there of Elvis again on stage in '72 with a load of Hawaiian ladies. He's sort of superimposed in the middle of them, so that's fairly bizarre. But what this is a red vinyl copy. So yeah, both of them on a glorious red vinyl. So kind of nice to have that. And then what I've also got is the legacy release from 2023. So this was your 50th anniversary release, remastered, re-engineered, absolutely beautiful. And again, this doesn't give us a cutout, so it wasn't an entirely accurate replica, although you do get some rather nice inner sleeves with this one, and that's on standard black vinyl. I think both, if I remember, both inner sleeves are, oh no, they're not. There goes the odd photograph again, and then we get that one that's plugging the re-release of the Elvis on Tour box set, the original photograph there. So that's a nice touch. And moving on to CD releases, I haven't got the 2 CD Legacy. I've never edition, which I'm not entirely sure why I didn't buy that. I just kind of never got around to getting it when I started buying things again a few years back. And then this one, the FTD release, came out, and because it kind of gave me everything I wanted, I never got around to it. But you know, I guess if you think about it, somebody that just wants an entry in to listen to Aloha and listen to it in decent sound quality, that Legacy CD would be a good starting point, because that should be able to be had for reasonable prices. This being an FTD, I think this is getting a little harder to get hold of these days. But what's interesting about this to me is that this has been remixed by Matt Ross Spang. Now, Matt Ross Spang seems to have been the go-to remixer in recent years for the mainstream legacy releases. So I was a bit surprised to see him popping up on an FTD title, because they seem to have been using him every time they put out anniversary releases on the main commercial legacy label. But yeah, this one's oh, that's, the light doesn't like that. It does not like that colour at all. Are we getting anything better there? So yeah, what do we got? We've got the first disc is the main show, January the 14th. The second disc is the rehearsal show from January the 12th. And then we get the bonus songs. And so this was when they dragged him back on stage to perform rather stiltedly to no audience, as if it was a live performance, but it wasn't a live performance. And you get some sort of rehearsals, incomplete takes of the 5 songs: Blue Hawaii, Kupuipo, No More, Hawaiian Wedding Song, and Early Morning Rain. Recorded live without an audience at the Honolulu International Centre Arena, January the 14th, 1973. I talked about that in the previous one. I've always thought it was a bizarre thing to make him do after such a momentous performance, but yeah. Enough said. Right, so what do we get on this package then? So your discs are housed in this really nice little sleeve. There goes that beautiful iconic, and I can use the word iconic because I think that is iconic. I've talked about my dislike of the overuse of that in the past, but I think it definitely comes in there. That is one heck of a shot, isn't it? A bit overused now, but I can see why. And then you get your beautiful booklet, FTD, quality all the way. There's your first press conference, September the 4th, so they get it right. As you saw last time, Joe Tunzi had a bit of a problem with it in his first 2 books on it. Just the layout of these is just fabulous, isn't it? Glorious. Absolutely fantastic stuff. A visual feast, I think. That will be the phrase. And we finished with your tracks. Great stuff. Now, what surprised a lot of people, myself included, that was 2022, I believe. It was indeed. 2023, Legacy thought, well, this year is the official 50th anniversary of Aloha, so we'll put one out as well. Which to a lot of us did feel like overkill. The draw on this one, I think, was the fact that you got the performance on Blu-ray, although what it gains by being on Blu-ray is questionable to me. As I explained with the first one, you know, this is television broadcast quality. It's never going to be fantastic high definition. It may be gain a bit of vibrance and a bit of colour, I guess, in the Blu-ray version. The sound will be better, that's for certain. DVD can't match the sound quality that a Blu-ray can. So I guess, you know, it's worth the price of admission for that alone. But yeah, when you think about, let's have a look. Let's hold both boxes up. Right, there's your legacy version. There's your FTD. And you will see that even the third disc with the bonus songs is pretty identical. So you're not getting any different material. You're not getting any different material at all. But I do believe this is a different mix. Oh, no, it's not. Newly mixed by Grammy Award-winning recording engineer Matt Ross Spang. So I think it's exactly the same mix. You know, I'd even considered fooled myself into thinking that at least you got a different mix of it, but I don't think you do. Newly remixed version by Matt Ross Spang. It isn't. It's the same mix. So yeah, interesting. Well, what else do we get then? What else? What is this one worth the price of admission? This one's certainly easier to get hold of because it's not an FTD. Because it's a mainstream release, you can get your hands on this one a lot easier. It's just as nice a package, I think. You know, you get your Blu-ray slotted in there, and then you get your 3 discs. So it is really, really nicely put together. Cannot take that away from it. But let's have a look at the booklet. Let's see if the booklet differs a little bit. I think the booklet is definitely feeling thicker in my hands. So if my recommendation is going to go anywhere to anyone that just wants a really comprehensive audio record and with a visual as well, I'm going to go with this one because it's going to be easier to get and it's going to be cheaper to get as well, and it's going to be available in a lot more places. And as we're only a year down the line from when it was released, should be very easy to get hold of. So yeah, kind of talked myself into the position that it's almost the FTD one is superfluous. But I guess in a way FTD know that a lot of Elvis fans collect FTD and they want every FTD release in their collection. So it's going to sell to them, isn't it? I mean, it's sold to me and I don't collect them all. If I've got to be perfectly honest with you, had I known when I bought the FTD one that this one was on its way, I personally would not have bought the FTD one. I'd have just waited for this one because to me the packaging is as good, the content is pretty much identical. You get the Blu-ray with this as well, and you know, ultimately it's the same mix. I can't see any difference. They're both Matt Ross Spang. In fact, this one's even a bit of a chunkier box look. Slightly chunkier box on your legacy version. So I think, you know, I'd say if you're just looking for a real budget way of doing this, picking them up second hand, I would go for the deluxe 2-disc DVD and the 2 CD legacy, small legacy, you know, not in the big box, but just in a standard digipack. I think you're probably looking on a good day about £20-25 for both of those. I'm sure you can pick them up for that. This, I think the legacy 3 CD and Blu-ray is going to be pushing the £40 mark, I'm going to say now, maybe a little bit more than that, but you are getting more material you are getting fabulous new remix, and it really is a good remix. Matt Ross Spang seems to really know what he's up to with live material. He did I think it was him that did the Madison Square Garden. Was it Matt Ross Spang? I can't remember now, and it's not obvious on here, but if it was him that I'm thinking of, yeah, Matt Ross Spang did the Madison Square Garden. He seems to really have a feel for the live material. I'm not so sure he's as good with the studio material, but certainly with Elvis's live shows, he really knows his stuff. So yeah, that's going to be my recommendation to anyone that hasn't got some of this material and would like to get hold of it. I'm going to say, if you want a real budget, get your 2 DVD deluxe edition and your Legacy 2 CD. But if you want it all, go for this Legacy box set that came out last year, because it's all there and it's fantastic. And that's about it really for what I've got visually and recorded from Aloha, which is a fair amount really for one show, albeit a monumentally important show. So okay, that's kind of wrapped up 1973 for me. A year of an incredible high at the beginning, and as I said in the first of these 3 episodes, a sort of a heralding of an eventual sort of slowing down in Elvis's career. As we'll see going into the next year, 1974, he didn't enter the studio and record at all, which I think is very telling. But that's for next time, 1974. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this little look at some of the releases around the Aloha from Hawaii special. I really appreciate you all watching. If you haven't already, please do all the stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe and all that, because it helps the channel immensely and I appreciate it loads. Next time we're gonna have a look at 1974 and what went on in Elvis's career then, and what releases there are to document that. So until then, take care. Ta-da.
We'll meet you again. May God bless you. Adios.